Hi there, it's V Simone and I'm the Zen Mommy. I'm here to help you with spiritual awakening and ascension and guiding you through the healing of the mind, body, and soul. Today I want to talk about timelines. Yes, timelines. This is a subject that I have been nervous about because I so want to get it right because it's a lot of detail in it, and I feel like if you can really understand it, it's going to make life easier and it's going to make manifesting easier. So let's start. Okay, so timelines. One thing I learned when I went on the other side when I emerged with my infinite self and saw everything, I looked back down on my life here on earth and I saw all the timelines. Okay, so what are timelines? Okay, so one thing that you have to understand that, okay, so on the other side there is no time. Okay, there's no time, and when you get here, this is an earth that has time, and so everything on the other side is happening at the same time. I know that it's hard to understand it because you know what, our human mind, it wasn't built to understand all of creation, and so like sometimes we can't really understand it, but like once you experience it and you remember, okay, you'll understand it. Okay, so now as far as timeline, so I saw every timeline. So when I'm talking about a timeline or a parallel universe, I'm talking about possibilities. Okay, as a creator God, you have infinite possibilities. Everything that is a possibility, just like in the law of physics. Everything that is a possibility. So let's just say I wake up this morning, right? I get up, I decide, I want to go to Starbucks and get some coffee. And then I decide, okay, I get on the road, and there's two different ways that I can take to get to the Starbucks. So I can go right and get there quicker, but it'll be more traffic. I can go left and it takes a little longer, but it won't be any traffic, right? Or I can decide I'm gonna skip Starbucks today and go straight to work. Okay, so those are three options, right? So I decide I wanna get there quick, so I'm gonna deal with the traffic, right? So I drive there, I take I drift there, I go with the traffic, then I get in a car accident. Okay? But let's just imagine if I went the other way, I went right, no, I went left and got in the car, whatever. I went right, and if I would have went right, then I wouldn't have gotten in a car accident. In fact, I would have made it to Starbucks on time, and I would have met this handsome guy, and we would have dated and got married. But instead, I get into a car accident, and I end up going to the hospital, right? And when I get to the hospital, I meet this very attractive doctor, and we start dating and we get married and have kids. So now those two possibilities, so I end up going to Starbucks, I meet one guy. And I end up getting a car accident, going to the hospital, I meet another guy, right? So these are two possibilities that could have happened that day. Or I could have went straight to work and neither of those things happened, okay? So we're gonna look at it like this, okay? Got my little board. All right, so three possibilities. All right, and I need a black marker, so I'm gonna make these lines thicker. Okay, three possibilities, can you see that? All right, one possibility, traffic, Starbucks, car accident. Traffic, Starbucks, car accident, okay? This possibility, I get straight to Starbucks, I meet the man of my dreams, we date and get married. This possibility, I go to the hospital, I meet another guy of my dreams, and we date and get married and have 5 kids, right? But I decide to skip all of that, go straight to work, and I don't meet any guy. Now, these are the possibilities that can happen when I wake up that morning, right? So what I'm trying to say is when you're looking at this from the perspective of the other side, all timelines are happening at the same time. So it's not about your choice, right? It's about this is going to happen anyway, okay? If it's a possibility, everything that's a possibility is a possibility. So these two are parallel universes. So your consciousness, when you make that decision to go right and get in the car accident and go meet, your consciousness shifted to that timeline. That these timelines already exist, they're already there. Okay, and not only that, there's probably a million more timelines, right? It's like you go, you have 5 kids, then you get divorced, then you meet another person, right? And then you go here, and then you decide not to have kids, right? Then you go meet this guy, and you guys get married, and he cheats on you, get a divorce. Then you marry another guy, and then you get a divorce, and then you find your soulmate, and then you guys finally get married and have like 5 kids together. I'm just trying to tell you, this is what it looks like, okay? So I'm just using these 3 examples, but what I'm trying to say, every decision that you make, even if it's me just like that, moving my hair to the side right here, there's a timeline where I don't move that to the side right there. So I'm trying to tell you, you have to think about being infinite. You have to think about infinite souls. The human mind cannot understand that. Every possibility is a possibility. All these timelines on the other side, they're happening all at the same time because they've already happened. And so you're just shifting, right? So you wake up one day and you decide, okay, I'm in this toxic relationship. Let's say with me and my ex-husband, my Storm's dad. He was toxic, narcissist, energy vampire. He was draining the life of me. And my life was going downhill. When I didn't understand I was seeing the future. I would look into the future and I would see me just miserable and distressed. That's one thing. When psychics, they can't really tell you the future because you have a lot of timelines and it's your options to make certain choices that could change. Whatever they say, it may not come true. You may not be on that timeline. The only thing that can help is they can tell you a possibility of something and you can probably avoid it or change it, right? So I saw the timeline of him going out every night, getting old and stressed every night and worried, right? I saw that timeline, right? So when I finally made that decision after he left and he tried to come back, I finally decided to let go. Just cut my losses, that I can't deal with this anymore. I was hurting, but that was the moment I shifted my timeline. I raised my vibration. I started Zen Mommy. Can you imagine? Had I stayed on the timeline with him, I would be miserable, probably suicidal, and I would not be Zen Mommy doing this video for you right now, okay? So you have to understand, you're shifting timelines from second to second. Every second, you're shifting the timeline. So it's up to you to decide the timeline you want to be on. So understand, you're the creator of your reality, okay? So if you want to be on a timeline that gives you prosperity and happiness and joy, then that's the timeline you choose, okay? So you make decisions. So you have to understand every decision is a consequence. Every decision will lead you down a different path. And so you can start shifting yourself to be on the timeline that you want. So for instance, okay, let's talk about the apocalypse. So there are timelines that there's a destruction of the world. There's a nuclear war. There's also a timeline of a golden age. There's also a timeline of aliens coming down. So you have to understand that which timeline are you going to be on? Okay, so I've decided after my awakening and I learned all this about the timelines, I decided to work to shift my timeline to the timeline of the golden age. And I call it the golden age, but this is when mass consciousness is awoken and everyone ascends to 5D and, everything changes. Currency is no longer, time is no longer, working for the man is no longer, instant manifestations, becoming who you are in the fullness of being a creator God in this body. Okay, so that's the time I decided to get on, right? So that you understand, I have this channel about spiritual awakening, right? But as you notice that ever since my experience on the other side, I've been shifting my channel and my topics about being a creator God because that's the timeline I'm riding right now. And if you're following me, if you're resonating with this, that's the timeline you're on right now too. And so you could be on a timeline, let's say religions, for instance, Christianity or I'll start Christianity because I know that when I was a Christian. Christianity, they believe in heaven or hell, and they believe, if you're bad, you go to hell, and if you're good, God will somehow take you to heaven. And so, imagine this: those are creations. That's why you can't put anyone down because that's the timeline they chose. That might be what they wanted to choose as a creator God. They might have wanted to experience that. So don't blame someone for being stuck in their religion and not being open-minded. That's the experience that maybe they wanted. And the truth, they'll find out later, But the thing is, the heaven and hell does exist. But see, one thing we never learned, there are other options. And it's all still, the heaven and hell, I'm not at the dimension board anymore. It's all still in the earth creation. right? And so my friend Naya, when I talked about how Naya, her channel is Yvonne Ballard. You should check her out. She died. She went to the other side, and she has full memory of everything. And one of the things she talks about is when she was on the other side, she went to go visit heaven and hell, and she said the people in hell, when they got to hell, they woke up, they realized they're creator gods, and then they didn't stay. And the heaven was empty. And she was like, it would surprise me, heaven was empty. And I'm like, well, why was heaven empty? And she says, because we're creator gods, and the people expected God to take them to heaven, not realizing that they're the one creating this reality. And so that's why heaven was empty. I thought that was so funny. Now, choose to resonate. Like I said, my channel is about resonance, okay? And you know, I understand that it's 4-star seeds. And listen, when you're listening to me, you don't have to listen to, understand or listen to. This is what I resonate with. This is what I know. I've been to the other side. This is what I feel I know. But you may have another experience. You may enjoy it a different way. Play your game how you want to, okay? This is about creation. This is about having, you see, your purest form is joy and happiness and laughter. And once you begin to understand that, you begin to understand we took this earth thing too seriously. With all of these attachments and stuff, it weighs us down, the ego. It's just like, we do kind of got to work a little hard to raise our vibration back. But, never fear. Simone is here. No, I'm just playing. Anyways, thank you for watching. Peace and love. Namaste.